Good morning, Western Australians and visitors from the East. It's an absolute delight to be here this morning to officially open Evari, an insurtech company. And there are many reasons why I wanted to be here today. First, I acknowledge Brack Norris and Robert Jeffrey and Daniel Fogarty for having the courage to take a risk, to build a business and an innovative entrepreneurial cloud-based startup. I congratulate you not only on the fact that you're based here in Perth and you're employing Western Australians, but that you are reaching out overseas and basing in London. And Brack and Robert, I think you'll find that direct Qantas flight, Perth-London, is going to make your job a little easier. Australia is known as an entrepreneurial innovator. We have enormous capacity to take up technological advances. In fact, we are seeing technological change at a scale and pace unprecedented in human history. Technology is changing the way we live, the way we work, how we travel, how we engage, how we consume. And this business is a brilliant example of how technology can reach into virtually every aspect of our lives. The idea that you can customise your insurance and only pay for what you need sounds so obvious, yet we couldn't do it without the cloud-based technology that backs it up. I'm delighted to hear that the partners went to Silicon Valley for inspiration, because we now, as a government, have established landing pads in strategic locations around the world so that Australian startups have a place to base themselves when they're seeking investors and angel investors and partners and ideas to develop their Australian startup. So we now have landing pads in Berlin, Shanghai, Singapore, in Tel Aviv and San Francisco. And this will give Australian startups the opportunity to base themselves in those locations while they commence their business and their contacts overseas. So you'll no longer have to go only to Silicon Valley to get that kind of support. The other reason why I'm excited to be here is because it's a great story for small business. And our government believes that small business is the backbone of the Australian economy. The businesses, often family businesses, but the individuals that come together, take risks, create opportunities, start a business, build a business. That's the backbone of the Australian economy, and which is why we've been devoting so much time and effort to giving tax relief for small business, giving them instant write-offs for assets, and why I believe the new Prime Minister has put into Cabinet a Minister for Small Business, Michaelia Cash, who happens to be a Western Australian. So this will be one of those good news stories coming out of the West. There's also another reason why I wanted to be here today, and that's my connection with Brack Norris and the Norris Maslin family. Brack, I will never forget the morning of the 17th of July 2014 when I learned that a Malaysian Airlines flight, MH17, had been shot down over Ukraine and that all 298 passengers and crew on board had been killed. And over the next 24 hours, I learned that a number of Western Australians had been on that flight. And I left Australia pretty well immediately to go to the United Nations to see if we could garner world support to have access to what was a war zone in Ukraine and to bring the bodies of those killed home. On my way to New York, I started ringing the families of those who'd been killed, and I spoke to Maslin, and he told me about your dad Nick and about your niece Evie and your nephews Otis and Mo. And I have continued to fight for them And I hope that my successor, and I know my successor in the role as Foreign Minister, will continue to seek justice for the families of those killed aboard MH17. So when I was asked to open your offices here, there was no way I could be anywhere but here in Perth supporting the Maslin Norris family. So, ladies and gentlemen, on a much happier and brighter and optimistic note, might I say how honoured I am to have been asked to officially open Evari, the insurer tech company of the future. And here in Western Australia, we are proud to have you as part of our business community. Thank you. Now, apparently this very elegant statue must have been created by you, Brack. Did you do this? It's lovely. Is now going to be the official emblem of the opening of the offices with these rather ancient coins.
And a combination of the past and the future.
And an almost black swan.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That was great. That was and very heartfelt words, and you can see why for us family is important as well as business. And as I said, we're very proud to be building a business here in Perth and creating more jobs. And thank you for your support.
Thank you.
So look, that's it for the formalities. So it'd be good if some people would like to leave, and then we're going to have a private function at the end of that.
I can actually be an advisor to you guys on diplomacy. A few minutes ago, Brack and I were comparing race times at the City to Surf, and Brack said, "Yeah, but I'm so much younger than you."
So have I been too diplomatic there? Is
no.
That the? No. So and as you can tell, we'd like to have a private function. So thank you for your attendance, and great to be supporting jobs in the West. Thank you.
Good on you.